2022 is swiftly coming to an end, and there have been a lot of amazing games that have come out this year, such as Elden Ring, God of War Ragnarok, and not you, no. Despite these heavy hitters being out though, there's still one game that I'm personally much more excited for, and that game is Darktide. Darktide is an upcoming PvE horde shooter set in the Warhammer 40k universe, and its developer Fat Shark Games. Look at him. Yeah, he's an adorable shark. And he's fat. I've experienced in this genre with Vermintide 1 and 2, which is set in the Warhammer fantasy universe. I spent a decent amount of time in Vermintide 2, mostly playing as Sienna and accidentally blowing myself up, and I've enjoyed the game a lot, so I was excited to learn about Darktide. I managed to get into one of the closed ND8 betas, and then later on in the public beta test, where we were allowed to stream and record, and honestly I was blown away by Darktide. It still has a lot of the same gritty atmosphere as Vermintide 2, but now with the futuristic grim dark twist that is Warhammer 40k. Both games have a lot of similarities, especially in their class systems, such as the grizzled veteran soldier, the I use supernatural powers and I'm always on the verge of blowing myself up, and even the big boys. Barden is big in heart, I swear. Both games play out the same way in that you pick a class, choose your mission, level up, get new gear and talents, and then get the reality check by an enemy special who decide that today is just not your day. Vermintide 2 already did well with this formula, but Darktide refines it while also offering a more customized approach to your character creation. Instead of choosing a predefined character, Darktide allows you to create your own character, choosing your origin, how you grew up, and your voice pack, which changes how your character reacts to things in the game. While these things may not have any actual gameplay changes as far as I'm aware, it helps give a more personalized approach to the game and lets you immerse yourself more into it as well with a character of your own design, which I heavily appreciate. Darktide's missions mostly consist of go from point A to point B, maybe defend a location or two, and depending on the mission, you might have to load some precious cargo onto a ship while you're being swarmed by cultists, or maybe you'll decide to assassinate an enemy boss, only to find out that enemy boss is not playing around, and your party decide to play on a difficulty that you all were not prepared for. No. I'm alive? Never mind.
No, you're not.
Alright, it's on the random.
I believe in you, random.
Yeah.
While the objectives of each mission may not be anything groundbreaking, the overall gameplay is a lot of fun. The combat is nice and clean, meleeing enemies actually feels like you're cutting down enemies and not just cutting through pieces of wheat. The guns feel like actual guns with recoil, impact, and getting swarmed as I start to my reload. Popping people's heads as a Psyker was probably one of my favorite parts of the beta. I think my only complaint was the lasgun for veterans felt kind of weak, but honestly that might just be me not fully understanding the character, or the more likely option, just being bad at shooting. Speaking of classes, each class in Darktide is done pretty well in my opinion. All of them have their respective strengths and weaknesses, like how Psykers are great at dealing with special enemies but struggle against a lot of ranged enemies, or how the Paladin plays as a berserker kind of character, dealing more damage the less health that they have, and eventually feeling like an absolute god, only to be humbled by an enemy special. Darktide is looking to be a big hit, and I'm looking forward to it a lot when it releases November 30th. If you're looking for a fun PvE horde game with distinct classes, good gameplay, and a world with a giant amount of lore, then you should look no further than Darktide. But if you're looking for good random teammates in the game, yeah, that's not gonna happen. If you happen to find a game that lets you find good random teammates, though, be sure to let me know, because honestly, they're kind of a dying breed. Hey y'all, I hope you liked the vid. This vid was due in part to a lurker campaign that Darktide ran, and I'm definitely not cutting it last minute here. If you're interested in checking out Darktide, I left the link in the description below that should redirect you to Darktide's Steam page, and I'd be super grateful if you guys clicked on it. And yes, it is a lurker link, but it will redirect you to the Steam page. Anyways, thanks again for watching y'all. Expect to see more Darktide content soon, and eat your vegetables.